back again to another Java short tutorial. In my previous tutorials I've talked about building a GUI with Swing, and I've discussed the various layout managers. In this video I'm going to focus on one particular control that can be used inside the layout, namely the checkbox. And for that I'm going to create yet another example file. So Swing example 5. Again with a main method, and again I'm going to initialize this example, this class. There we go. And I'm going to have a constructor as well. Swing example 5. And naturally this class is going to extend from JFrame. I'm going to keep the layout of this particular class as simple as possible, because I purely want to demonstrate how a checkbox works, or how you can create a text box, add it, and how it works. Not particularly difficult though. Okay, what I will do, however, is I'm gonna copy over the default JFrame code, mostly because I'm too lazy to type it. So in this case I'm going to use a size of 250 and maybe, actually that's too much already, 150 and maybe 100. This would be Swing example number 5, which deals with the checkbox. My default close operation is always the same, and naturally I want my JFrame to be visible, therefore I'm going to set visible to true. Okay, for the layout in this case I'm going to use a grid layout, because it's nice and easy to organize my checkboxes in this case. So new grid layout and layout, yes, and in this case I want to have 3 rows and 1 column, so I'm going to stack my controls under each other. Naturally I'm going to import my grid layout. Okay, then now for the controls itself. Like I said, I'm going to demonstrate checkboxes. So checkboxes can be declared as private J checkbox, and I'm gonna call this one JCB breakfast, JCB lunch, and JCB dinner. Of course I have to import my JCheckbox control, and naturally I have to initialize the controls. So how am I going to do that? Well, this dot JCB breakfast equals new JCheckbox. As the parameter for the constructor for checkbox, you have to indicate the text that is going to be behind the actual checkbox. So in this case it's going to be breakfast. Then JCB lunch equals new JCheckbox lunch, and JCB dinner equals new, such a hard word to spell, checkbox dinner. Okay, then I'm going to add them to my layout, and since it's already set as a grid layout, simply say this.add JCB breakfast, this.add JCB lunch, and this.add JCB dinner. Okay, so 3 controls added. So let's see what happens if I press run. So there we go, we have 4 controls, which can be ticked and unticked. So say if in this particular case I want one of my checkboxes to be ticked by default. Well, let's say we want to tick breakfast. We simply say set selected to true. So now if I run this, you will actually see that the breakfast box is actually ticked. If you want to read whether or not a checkbox is ticked, we can say is selected, which will return a boolean indicating whether or not it is selected yes or no. I will probably do more about this when I start talking about action listeners as well. But for now, yeah, this is how you can basically add a checkbox control. Okay, see you next time.